Hello everyone. In the previous video, we have seen how we can able to convert a high-level language into assembly code. So in this current video, we are going to see how we can able to convert assembly code into executable binary and how we can able to store this executable binary into a main memory. So this is the structure of a computer. So initially your instructions as well as data will be stored in the main memory. So whenever a processor want to access the data and it want to execute the instruction, so it will fetch the instruction first and the control unit will decide operation has to be performed, and that control signal will be sent to the ALU. So meanwhile, the data will be loaded to the register. So ALU will be operating that data with respect to the instruction from control unit, and the result will be stored back to the main memory. Actually, depending on the architecture in the memory, so speed of the computer rely on that. So we can able to see that. So for understanding, I am going to show this particular picture. Consider the leftmost one as von Neumann architecture, the rightmost one as Harvard architecture. Considering the Bunny as a processor, this processor having single memory for storing code as well as data. Considering the fork as the bus, so it has only one bus to access this code as well as data. So consider the second bunny, the second processor, which has two different memory for storing code as well as data, and it has two different fork. So as two different buses for accessing this code as well as data. So the parallel processing is implemented here. So considering the first von Neumann architecture, the Harvard architecture will be more faster since it is having two different memory as well as two different access mechanism. So parallelly it can able to access code as well as data at a time, so it can able to process. So this is the structure of von Neumann architecture as well as Harvard architecture as we have specified already. So main memory having the same core for storing our data as well as code. So as well as it has only one bus for accessing both data as well as code. So at a time it can able to access data or code at a time. So in the compared to Harvard architecture, so you have two different memory in the main memory. Main memory is divided into two different parts. One for storing the program, second one is storing for the data. So you have two different buses for accessing program as well as data. So parallelly you can able to access the instruction as well as data for processing. So the parallel processing is implemented here. So your hardware machine will be faster than von Neumann architecture. But in recent computer and all, we are seeing all the architectures are modified Harvard architecture. So before getting into the concept how we can able to convert assembly code into binary, so we need to understand the instructions format available in the MIPS 32 architecture. The first instruction format is R-type instruction, otherwise known as register type. Second one is I-type, otherwise known as immediate type. Third one is J-type or jump type instruction format. So we can able to see one by one. First one is register type or R-type instruction format. Actually, it is a MIPS32 architecture, so the memory addresses having the size of 32-bit. So in this R-type instruction format, my 32-bit memory address is split into 6 different fields. The first field contain opcode of 6-bit size. Second field is having the first source register of 5-bit size, second source register of 5-bit size, then destination register of 5-bit size, shift amount of 5-bit size, and last 6-bit is for function. Actually, why the name R-type format is given for register type format, the name is given for this particular instruction format is, so we are going to deal only with the instructions which are going to use only registers as operands. For example, um, you see add as well as SSL. In this first case, S1 is my destination register, S2 and S3 are the S2 and S3 are the source registers. So I am going to do the operation only with respect to register. So in this SSL, S2 is my source register and S1 is the destination register. I am going to shift the content inside the S2 register left logically by 10 bits. So I am going to do operation only with respect to registers. So whenever I am going for an instruction which contain operands only as the registers, at that time I can able to segregate those type of instructions as R type instruction format. And one very important thing is the opcode for all the R type instruction format is always 0. Then the functionality, for example this addition, SSL or shift, left shift, all this functionality can be understood with respect to the last 6 digit function. And these are all the source and destination registers involved in that particular instruction. And if it is a shifting instruction, you will be having some shift amount. So we can able to see this example one by one. So you have to keep in mind that for every R type instruction format, opcode is 0 always. So we can able to see the examples. So we are going to see an example for addition as well as one for SSL. As we have previously discussed, since both the instructions are R type, so the opcode for both the instructions will be zeros of 6-bit size. And in order to find the function of this add and SSL, we need to refer the opcode sheet as well as function sheet. So while referring the function sheet, for addition, the function value is 32. So this is the binary representation of 32. For SSL, shift left logical, it is 0 again. So for this particular instruction here, 32 will be filled in the function field. For SSL, 0 will be filled in the function field. And in order to fill this registers value, so you need to know the register number. So as we have discussed, for addition, the function value is 32. So I am going to fill the value 32 here. Now RS, RT, RD and shift amount. So in this example, S1 is my destination register RD, S2 is the first source register RS, S3 is the second source register RT. Now I have to fill RS. RS is S2. So S2 has the register number 18. You can able to refer here. S0 is 16. So S1 is 17. S2 is 18. So I have to represent 18 in binary value here. So 16 plus 2, 18. RT is S3. So S3 is 19. So I have to fill 19 here. So 16 plus 2 plus 1, 19. So RD is destination register, that is S1. So S1 is having the register number 17. So I have to fill 17 here. 16 plus 1, 17. So since it is an arithmetic operation, I don't have any shift amount here. So I can able to fill 0. So this is how I can able to convert an assembly into binary, and I am storing it into the memory of 32-bit size. So considering the second example, so since it is an R-type instruction, opcode is 0, and we have already referred in the functionality sheet. In that we have found SSL having the function value 0. So I am going to fill zeros here. Now here S2 is my first source register RT. I don't have any RS here, and S1 is my destination register RD. So since I don't have any RS register, I can able to fill 0 here. Now my RT is S2. So S2 is 18 in number. So I can able to fill 18. So 16 plus 2, 18. My destination register is S1. It is having the value 17. So I have to fill 17 here. I have the shift amount of 10. So I have to represent this 10 in binary using 5 digits. So this is my R-type representation. So next we can able to see the second instruction format. Second instruction format is I-type. So I-type, I refers immediate. So here we have 4 different fields. The 32-bit is split into 4 different fields. First one 6-bit for opcode, Second two fields are for registers, and last 16 bit is for address or offset or immediate value. For example, in the first one, load word, it is a data transfer instruction. Here S1 is my destination register. So here RT is acting as destination register. S2 is my base input register. So RS will be my S2. 4 is my offset value. So I have to represent this 4 using 16 bit. So second, in the second instruction, if you see here, it is a very important thing. Here I don't have any destination register. See here, as per the instruction, I have to compare S1 and S2. If both are equal, I have to go to this particular address. This is the meaning of this instruction. I don't have any destination register here. At that time, here it S2 will act as RS and S1 will act as RT, or S1 will act as RS or S2 will act as RT. Both are input registers at that case. So according to I-type instruction format, RT will act as either destination register or source register with respect to the instruction type. Here 10 will be my address. I have to represent this 10 using 16 digit. Next one is or immediate. It is a direct immediate instruction. Here T0 is my destination register RT. T1 is my source register RS. 8 is my immediate value, what we are getting at the runtime. So I have to represent this 8 using 16 bit now. So we can able to see these examples one by one. So first I am going to discuss about load word and BEQ by referring the opcode sheet. So we can able to find that the opcode value for load word. So here the opcode value for load word is 16 plus 2 plus 1. Sorry, 32 plus 2 plus 1. It is 33. Sorry, 35. 32 plus 2 plus 1, 35. And for BEQ, the value is 4. So I can able to fill the opcode first. 32. Sorry, it is 35. Opcode for load word is 35. And my source register is S2, right? So S2 is 18. So I have to fill 18 here. 16 plus 2. My destination register is S1, RT. So S1 is 17. So I have to fill 17 here. My offset value is 4. So I have to represent this 4 using 16 digit. So this is how I have to represent load word in my I-type instruction format. The second case BEQ, what we have seen in the opcode sheet is it is having the opcode value 4. So I have to represent 4 using 6 digit. I don't have any destination register. Both are source register here. So I am going to represent S0 first, or I can able to represent S3 first. And in RT I can able to represent S0 or S3. In this example I am going to represent S3 as RS and S0 as RT. So it is 19, it is 16 and 10 is my address. I have to represent 10 using 16 digit. So this is my representation of BEQ instruction in I-type instruction format. We have to see one more example, or immediate. So or immediate, the opcode value is 16 plus 8 plus 1, 25, right? So no, it is 8 plus 4 plus 1, it is 13. So 13 is my opcode value for or immediate. I have to represent 13 in the opcode field. My RS is T1 and RT is T0. So T1 is 9. T1 is 9. So I have to represent RS as 9. So 16 plus, 8 plus 1, 9. T0. T0 is 8. So RT is T0. So address 8 is my, actually here I have to fill the immediate value. Immediate value is 8. I have to extend this 8 to 16 digit. So this is the representation of immediate instructions. The third instruction format what we have to see is jump instruction format. So here we have only two fields. One is the opcode field and address field. For example, in this case, I have to unconditionally jump to this particular address. The opcode value for J is 2. So I have to fill 2 here. The address to be mapped is 500. For simplicity, I am going to map using decimal format. Actually, what you have to do is you have to convert this 500 in binary and you have to extend it for 26 bit. So we can able to discuss one example by considering all the instruction format. So this example what we have seen in the previous video. So now we can able to convert this assembly code into binary and we are going to see how it is getting stored in the memory stack. So load word, the first four instructions are load word. So this is coming under I-type instruction format. So in the I-type instruction format for load word we have to see the opcode. So opcode for load word is 35. Here S4 will be my base address in all these cases. T0, T1, T2, T3 are the destination registers and my offset values are 20, 24, 28 and 32. The next three instructions are R-type instructions. See here we are using only registers for the as the operands. So for add my as you already know all the R-type instruction the opcode value is always 0. So we have to see only the function value. For add the function value is 32. For subtract the function value is 32 plus 2 34. And here T0 and T1 are source register, S1 will be the destination. We don't have any shift amount value, so shift amount value will be 0. Here T2 and T3 are the source and S2 will be destination. S1 and S2 will be source and S0 will be the destination. The last store word, it is an I-type instruction format with S4 as a base register, S0 as a destination register. Sorry, here the source is S0. So while storing we have to store the value from the register to the memory, right? So S0 will be my source register, S4 will be my destination register, uh, and 16 will be my offset value. So we can get into the concept how we can able to convert. So this was the example what we have done the assembly coding. For load word what we have referred, it is 35 is the opcode and my source register or base register is S4. So S4 is having the value 20. So 20 will be loaded to RS. RT is T0, T0 is 8 and my offset value is 20. Second instruction again load word, so 35 will be my opcode, the same base register, so 20. Destination register is T1, so T1 is 9. Offset value is 24. The third instruction 35 20, T2 is my destination register for 10, offset value is 28. Again load word, so 35 same base register 20, T3 is my destination register, so 11, offset value is 32. Now I have to go with R-type instructions. For R-type instruction my opcode value is 0 and my function value what we have referred in the function sheet for add addition it is 32 is the function, and my first source register is T0 and second source register is T1, so 8 and 9. Destination register is S1, so the value of S1 is 17. I don't have any shift amount value, so 0. Again addition, so opcode value 0, function value 32. I have the source registers as T2 and T3, so 10 and 11. Destination is at S2, S2 is 18, there is no shift amount, so 0. Then for subtraction, it is a R-type instruction, so my opcode is 0, function value what we have referred in the sheet is 34, S1 is the source register, first source register, S1 is 17, S2 is 18, S0 is my destination register, so 16, there is no shift amount. For storing, last one, it is an immediate instruction, its opcode value is 43, and destination register is S4 and source register is S0, so S0 will be filled here, and destination register S4 16, and my offset value 16. Actually here S0 is my source, actually 16 has to come here, and S4 is my destination register, 20 has to come here. So 43, 16, 20, 16 will be the correct value. So this is how we have to convert an assembly code into binary. This is the way we are storing the value inside the memory. In some cases, you will be getting some question like this. Actually, the binary value is stored in the main memory. So while fetching, so the binary 32-bit value will be fetched by the processor. How the processor going to interpret what functionality has to be performed? So these type of question may arise. So you will be given only the 32-bit value. So you have to identify the, or you have to decode the work what processor is performing, that we have to perform. So we have to decode this binary and we have to identify the assembly code for that. For example, so this is my instruction given in binary. So I have to look on to the first 6 digit. So whenever you are getting a binary instruction, your control unit will be look on to this first 6 digit. Then only we can able to identify which instruction format is this. So by seeing this first 6 digit, we can able to identify that it is an R-type instruction format. So once it is detected as R-type instruction format, so in order to identify the operation, we have to see the functionality field, last 6 digit. In this case, last 6 digit also 0. This functionality is for shift left logically, SLL, shift left logically. Now we have found that this is an R-type. So my fields are divided into 6, split into 6 fields. First one is for opcode 6-bit, RS 5-bit, RT 5-bit, RD 5-bit, shift amount 5-bit, and last 6-bit for function. So we are dividing and we are identifying that it is SLL. So SLL, so we are operating only with RT and RD. We don't have any RS value. So RS value is 0 here. So my destination register is RD. RD is 10. So 10 is the value of T2. So T2 is my destination register. Here it is 16, right? RT is 16. So 16 is the value of S0. So my source register is S0. So I have to shift the content inside this S0 according to the shift amount. Here shift amount is 4. So I have to shift the content inside the S0 by 4 bit and the result has to be stored in T2. This is the way we have to decode the instruction. So we have to, initially we have to see the first 6 digit, that is my opcode field. So from that we can able to identify the functionality. If it is an R type, again we have to see the functionality block. So whatever instruction the MIPS 32 architecture have, we can able to segregate all the instructions under these 3 categories: R type, I type, and J type. So as a conclusion, we have seen how we can able to convert assembly code into, sorry, high level code into assembly in the previous video. In this video we have understood how we can able to convert assembly code into executable binary and how it gets stored in the main memory. Thank you.